Adam, what was your take of a Chris Rock's Netflix exceptional? A new Adam Sandler interview has made them acclaim Chris Rock for his specific shock satire execution, where he had only beneficial comments about the piece, quietly implying that the words were merited and elegantly composed. Last week, Adam Sandler acknowledged the imprint Twain Prize for American Humor in Washington, D.C., and there to help him were his long-term teammates and companions Jennifer Aniston, Drew Barrymore, Chris Rock, and a lot more. After the occasion and during the celebrations, Sandler addressed individuals about Rock's Netflix extraordinary particular shock, thought he was staggeringly loosened up, entertaining idea, smart, squashed. It was genuine to himself. He felt free to laud his long-lasting companion and regular partner Chris Rock, giving him acclaims and saying he made the best decision in the meeting with individuals. Sandler was inquired as to whether Rock accomplished something that he shouldn't have done by kidding about Jada Pinkett Smith at the Oscars last year, and Sandler said that he never considered it and proceeded to commend Decay pulling him loosened up, amusing and smart. Sandler guaranteed his companion had been amazing, loosened up, entertaining, smart, and that he ultimately squashed the show by remaining valid and genuine to himself. Sandler added, and it was energizing to look as when the Super Bowl is on, I pondered everything. End of the week, he said. The second he realized Chris was doing the show that evening, he promptly began watching it from his kitchen, and it was great, to the point that he rewatched it again. To him, it was one of those astonishing encounters that come sometimes, and he lived it up, watching it and snickering, paying little mind to what Chris said. Sandler guaranteed it was okay, and that Christie consistent with himself. He never referenced some other name separated from Chris, yet clearly he was satisfied that his companions answered the Smiths. It'd probably been truly rankling to watch his companion Chris being embarrassed on a public stage and making them pattern via virtual entertainment, and not on the grounds that he is an astounding humorist. But since he had been viciously attacked at the Oscars, Will Smith slapped Rock in front of an audience at the 94th Foundation Grants, when the last option went in front of an audience to introduce the honor for Best Narratives, and kidded about Jada Pinkett Smith's molded head. Now, Sandler referenced nothing about the Oscars episode except for he was truly strong of the reaction and Chris live satire unique. Chris Rock particular shock, which debuted recently on Netflix. Chris tended to the slap occurrence in his normal, expressing that while Smith rehearses specific shock and that he didn't have anything to do with all that occurred, and that the fault ought to go to the entangler Jada Smith. Chris said, we as a whole been undermined. Everyone in this industry has been undermined. Not a single one of us have at any point been evaluated by the individual that tricked us on TV. Not a solitary one of us. Why the FK would you do that? Resource, she hurt him much more than he hurt me. Okay, he was alluding to Jada discussing her ensnarement with August Alsina a long time back while she and Will were having some time off. She said at the time that she and Will had the option to save their relationship, adding that they had arrived at that new spot of unqualified love. Paying little mind to what she said, it was very embarrassing and disheartening to see her openly conceding to having had an illicit relationship with a more youthful man, her child's companion, and to have told it straightforwardly, to directly out in the open yet transfer the video. As per Rock, Will Smith was alluded to as a BTCH by everybody after the entrapment news, and he endeavored to call Smith, yet he was not noting. Chris even tended to the second when Jada required a blacklist of the Foundation Grants in 2016, where he guarantees she had mentioned that Rock not have the show since Will was not selected for his movie Blackout that year. A nearby partner of Jada disproved this guarantee, saying that she never requested that Chris not have the Oscars ever, and on second thought she had freely said in a Facebook post at the time Chris would be an extraordinary Oscars host and is ideally suited for the work. In his exceptional Stone asserted that Jada should have been ridiculed, saying that she was the one to begin things and that he was just responding. Rock stated, I poked some fun at her. Who gives FCK? That is the way it is. She begins it, I finish it. That is what the FCK happened. No one's singling out this BTCH. She began this resource. No one was singling out hers. This statement should have additionally goaded Jada on the grounds that her delegate claims she isn't associated with her significant other and Chris's quarrel, and that they were stunned at how frequently Chris involved the word in, alluding to Jada to Chris Rock. However, he doesn't appear to think often much any longer about their thought process of him since he has uncovered one of the jokes That didn't make the finished product into his new Netflix unique, and it was ruthless. It's like he was communicating something specific that get more frightful entertaining stuff to say, and he would have expressed them during his show yet didn't, on the grounds that Netflix cut those parts off. It was really a distinction for Chris, who toward the beginning of spring performed on Netflix's very first live set particular episode, which contained various outstanding minutes, including him ridiculing Meghan and Harry the Kardashians and him tending to Will Smith slapping him at the 2022 Oscars. Well, I start Paul Pelosi, the main person that knows how I felt. Good me and you, Paul. It appears Netflix concluded there were a few jokes he shouldn't say and cut them from his show just for him to play out the somewhere else. Specifically, one savage comment apparently contrasting his dramatic attack with the ruthless assault of previous House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's better half in October 2022. He really uncovered the joke while in front of an audience at the 24th Imprint Twain Prize for American Humor, commending the current year's honoree, his dear companion Adam Sandler. Brock told the crowd he would be sharing a couple of jests that were avoided with regard to his Netflix unique. Paul Pelosi is the main person who knows how I felt, the 58-year-old set for USA Today. Me and you, Paul. From what he said, it was clear why Netflix cut the joke from his exhibition, since it was very cold-hearted toward the feeble elderly person. Rock's remarks were concerning the horrendous occurrence where Pelosi was clubbed with a sledge in his home. Pelosi languished a skull break, over which he went through a medical procedure, and his significant other Nancy said that he is recuperating and doing a firm, yet it will take a short time for him to have returned to typical. Besides the fact that he discussed Pelosi and him knowing one another, yet he likewise discussed his companion together and how they met. He was really there to give a recognition for Sandler, yet he likewise figured out how to diss the Oscars for resting on Sandler while making his recognition discourse to pay tribute to his companion Adam Sandler, being granted the current year's Twain Prize for American Humor. The entertainer got down on the Oscars for reprimanding the whole gem star. I've known this person for a long time, Chris Rock said of Sandler during his discourse from the Kennedy Place in Washington, D.C. The Oscars, you know, their F-ruler and openings. He proceeded, and if they would rather not give my man his props, we will this evening. Clearly very much like how much Sandler loves Chris. The last option feels something similar, and he rushed to recognize Sandler's gift. Subsequently, we can say that he was referring to Sandler's absence of a designation for his job as New York City goldsmith Howard Ratner in the 2019 film and Cut Diamond. Sandler's job was exceptionally lauded, with some even calling it the best exhibition in his whole profession, with the film earning in excess of $500 million locally on a $19 million financial plan, as per film industry details. Besides the fact that the film got well known with gleaming surveys, it even scored an honor from the USA Public Leading Group of Survey was a main 10 film, paying little mind to how sublime it was. The film was not designated for any Oscars, and in light of the snap, Sanford tweeted out a message at the time composing terrible news. Sandman gets no adoration from the foundation. Uplifting news. Sandman can quit wearing suits. Chris Rock was among a few different comics, entertainers and producers to talk in Sandler's honor, including Jennifer Aniston, Drew Barrymore, Steve Buscemi, Louis Guzman, Conan O'Brien and David Spade. After his occasion, Sandler proceeded to help Chris, very much like Chris had accomplished for him beforehand, giving him acclaim and being joined by other people who likewise believed Chris's exhibition was fire. Additionally, close by to offer recognition for Rock for Petals, ransack Schneider and Dana Carvey. He's preposterous, he's unimaginable, he truly sets the bar, said Schneider. That was simply unadulterated, pure Chris Rock brightness, the whole thing, said Carvey. A fan on Twitter said Chris Rock getting together with Adam Sandler, Kevin James and David Spade to take on Will Smith. One more said one in particular that didn't ignore their butt at Rock Smith jokes was Smith is fam and everlastingly tangled reformists who have not a single clue of humor. Adam Sandler protects Chris Rock, drives back on journalists inquiring as to whether Rock went excessively far with Will Smith jokes. At any rate, we should not fail to remember that this video depends on speculations and my viewpoints and ought not be viewed as realities. That is all there is to it for this video. Bad habit.